Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Salesforce real-time scenario series. One of the subscriber asked me what is the LWC spread and how it is works by the LWC spread operator in the LWC component. So here we are going to discuss to the LWC spread. The LWC spread is it is a declarative. It is a declarative in the Salesforce Lightning Web Component. It is introduced by the dynamically binding the our properties data. It is dynamically binding by the our properties data. So it is allows to the developer multiple values at a time. We can pass it to the multiple attribute values or properties information to the another component, parent to child component, or we have to using by the in the JavaScript object, JSON object. And instead of the manually binding by the each attribute individually, this is the mainly we have to pass it to the from the parent to child individual attribute or individual property information. Instead of that, we can use it by the spread operator. It is automatically assigned to the values to the child component properties, that is works to the key and value pair type. It is works to the key and value pair. So this is the makes the code clear and maintain and reduce the mainly redundancy in the template. It is reduce the redundancy in the template. And the one more thing also, we have the mainly reusability the code, and particularly useful when working to the reduce the components are dynamically generated by the UA element. We can dynamically generated by the UA element, so it will be the helpful to us. And the spread operator is the used for the multiple values from the parent to child component at a once. Individually, we are not going to pass it from the parent to child. It is passing by the spread operator to at a time. So declarative aligned to the closer to the modern JavaScript. This spread operator is works to the modern JavaScript pair. Okay. In the JavaScript, we are using for the spread functionality, spread operator functionality in the JavaScript. Similar way here also be the working. So overall is the spread operator is the very powerful and improve the development efficiency. It is improved by the our develop efficiency, and it is very UI flexibility. So let me show you how it is works. Let's take by the one example. So Control Shift P, I'm going to create by the one Lightning Web component. So here we have the real-time scenario. See here LWC spread. So here I am coming to the HTML, sorry, HTML, lightning card, title, LWC spread. So here I am going to take it by the one button. So how we are going to write by the button? So lightning button. So variant. So here brand label equals to submit. And here we are going to take it by the label. So and like name or title. Title is the submit. So these are all the we are writing. So these are all the variant to label or are the properties attributes, right? So usually we are writing by the separately for this, separately for this, right? So now see how we are going to use it for the with the spread operator to how to simplify the code in the UI and how to reduce the redundancy in the UI. So let's come to the here. Let's I'm going to take it by the one property. So here we are going to take it by the button properties. So here I'm going to define by the object notation type. So variant, brand, label submit, title is the here we are going to take it by the submit. So button disable or enable, that is the, we have to give it by the default is the false. Okay, if you don't want to, you can remove this. So save. These are all the values we are added by the button, in the button properties. Okay, let me save. Now how we are going to access by the this button properties object values object, right? So here instead of this variant label title we are written by the 3, but simply to write here, so lightning button. So here instead of the variant label title, so here we just to write it by the LWC spread operator equals to, we are going to use it by the our property. We are define this property now. Simply to it is, we can write it. Automatically it is spread by the data. Let's save. Deploy. Before deploying, we can give it by the properties. So targets. So here we are going to give it by the targets. App page. Let's deploy. It's deployed successfully. Let's come to the Salesforce org. I'm creating by the one app builder page. Click on new. Click on next. LWC spread. Click on done. Click on done. Click on one region. Click on done. So here spread operator. So drag and drop. So click on save. Click on activate. So here back to the page. So sorry. Here we are going to search with this spread operator. See here, both will be the appear shape. There is no difference. But as a developer, here you have to observe, we are written by the logic is the different. So if you are writing by the variant, label, title, these are the 3 parameters. Instead of that, we can simplify our code. We can take it by the one object notation. In this object notation, what are the values we have the required? Those values we are taken by the here. Those values we have taken by the here variant, label, title. So this is the key and value pair. This is the key, this is the value. This is the key, this is the value. Key and value pair, it is the spread by the properties. So you have to observe very less code, right, in UI. So this is the reduced by the redundancy in the our UI components. And if you want reusability also, again and again we have to write it by the same type of things. We can reusability the same functionality. Okay. So like this, we can helpful to the LWC spread operator. And one more scenario we can discuss to how to pass it by the from the parent to child component. So let's take it by the here one more thing. Let's close this. So create lightning web component. So here RT. So child LWC spread. Okay. This is the child component. In this child component, usually we have to pass it to the data from the parent to child, like at the rate API. Why? Because means in the parent component, we need to access by these properties. We need to make it as a public. Otherwise, it will works as a private, right? We can't able to access by the properties into the parent component. So here, like where name. So here we have to the import by the API also, like at the rate API h at the rate API employee ID. So these are the fields, let's assume. So these are the three fields values we have to fetch from the parent component. So now here in the UI, we have to display these information. Title, so LWC spread, closed by the tag. So here name, so age, employee ID. So save. Let's deploy this one. This is the child component. In the child component, I have the couple of properties. These are all the individual. So now I would like to pass the data from the parent component to the child component. So let's take it by the here lightning web component RT parent LWC spread. Okay. So now in the parent component, I have the one object. So here person is the object. Okay. So in this, we have to take it by the person name, Abhiram. So age 30 and employee ID equals to EMP 1234. Okay. So here we have to be. So now this is the parent component. This object information we need to pass it to the from the parent to child component. But in the child component, actually we have the individual fields. It's not an object. It is not an object. But as for the some kind of the requirements, we need to pass it to the data from the parent component to the child component individually. Like name, age, employee, we need to pass it by the individually. So how we are going to usually pass it? So let's come to the here. Uh, Parent component. In the parent component, we are going to come to the HTML lightning card. So parent to child. Okay. So in this, no need for the card operator. Okay. Just we can save and deploy. So now how we are going to usually access by the child component in the parent component. See, Okay, this is the namespace. Under the namespace, we are going to access by the our child component name. Child LWC spread. This is the our component now. Child LWC spread. So save. Now, as per the my requirement, I want to pass it to the data from the parent to child. So here name individually, I'm going to pass it by the data name. So here we have to pass it by parent to dot name. Sorry, person dot name. Here we are defined by the person, right? Object not person dot name. So now here we need to pass it by the age. And next is the employee ID. Person dot employee ID. Okay. So here we are going to take it by the name, age, and person. Okay. Employee ID. Okay, I is the capital, right? If you want to use it by the instead of this, we can give it by the I. Better to take it by the small only. All we can use it to understand. Let's say in the child component also, I'm going to take it by the small. So deploy the parent component as well. So now here we are passing to the one by one value individually. One of the object notation value, or if you take it by the individually also, we need to pass it by the from the parent to child individually. So now here we are going to give it by the some targets, quickly copy paste by the existing things. So let's take it by the one more app builder, or simply I'm adding by in the same LWC spread operator. Same, I'm going to add it. Click on edit page. So click on save, click on activate. Already we are activated, right? So see here, Abhiram, age 30, employee ID is the 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we are passing the data in this concept. We are covered to the how to pass the data from the parent component to child component. When you want to pass it to the data from the parent to child component, in the child component properties, we can make it as a public. So how we are going to make it as a public at the rate API, we need to use it. Then only it will make it as a public properties. Then we can able to access by in the parent component. That is the one of the concept. So now child component we are using in the parent component. So we are passing the values individually here, right? So here we have the three values, that is fine. It might be I have the 10 values, 15 values means. So it's take the lot of code right here. It is the lot of code here. Instead of this, we can simply write it by the spread operator to, we can pass it to the from the parent to child. So here child LWC spread. So LWC spread. Just you have to use it by the spread. Your object notation. Person. No need to individually give it by the like or name, age, employee ID. Okay, but these values in this, what you are going to take in a name, age, these values, and in the child component, what you are taking na properties. These are all must be the same, unique, must be the same. Okay, then only it is automatically mapping by the key and value pair, key and value pair. Okay, now here you have to observe instead of this, we are simply writing by the LWC spread operator. Then it is passed by the data to the child component. Okay, without to taking the multiple lines of the code individually, we are not in passing by the any data for the each property. Let's save and deploy. Let's take it by the break. So let me refresh by the page. See here, as for the user interface, there is no difference, but in the our coding side, we have to write it by the very less code writes with the spread operator. So it is automatically mapped by the data with the key and value pair. So this is the very helpful to the in the real time, and it is one of the interview question also. What is the spread operator in the LWC? So we can pass the data from the parent to child component individually. At that time, we are going to create by the one object. In that object, we are going to pass it by the our data. Then we can easy to pass it to the from the parent to child. And if you want to use it by the same kind of the logic button, we are just to seeing na spread LWC. So button properties. So in the button properties also we can simply write it now. Automatically it is taken by the key and value pair type, variant, label, title like this. Okay. So this is the spread operator, how it is works. I hope it's clear. Thank you guys. Stay tuned for the more real-time scenarios.